Hi witches, and welcome back to another super exciting video all about witchcraft. And before we jump into today's topic, I just want to give a super huge shout out to the Trini Moon Witch and Kim, who joined my Patreon this week. Thank you guys so much for your support. Patreon basically allows me to do this as my job, so it's just always amazing that people care enough about this to support me, and I'm always so grateful. Now, what are we actually going to be talking about today? Well, in case you couldn't tell by the title, we are approaching very quickly the full cold moon in Gemini. So this occurs on December 7th at about 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So again, do the math to figure that out wherever you are on our beautiful planet. This moon actually occults Mars, which I know sounds very witchy and spooky, but basically it just means that the moon is going to be moving in front of Mars in the night sky, or it's going to be seeming to look like that just because of perspective and distance and science and math that I went to art school. You do not want me to try to explain it because we'll just all be confused. And if you are in North America, you should be able to kind of see this over the next couple days, so be sure to keep your eyes on the night skies. Now, the full cold moon is the final full moon of 2022, which is so crazy to me. You might have also heard this moon called the moon before Yule, which again, we'll be talking about in December. The winter moon, the Yule moon, or the evergreen moon. So now that we kind of know what it is and when it's happening, let's talk about how you can celebrate the full cold moon for yourself, right? So this full moon is really associated with themes of self-discovery, release, protection, shadow work, and reflection on the past year. So these are themes that are really common around this time of year anyways, and these are themes that will be reflected again in some of our Yule celebrations. So I really feel like kind of this darker half of the year, especially for us here in the Northern Hemisphere, is just a really good time to look inward, and it's the end of the year and we're looking ahead to the next one. So it's good to kind of look back, seek the wisdom that we learned, and release the stuff that we no longer need or that we don't want to take with us into 2023, right? Moving right along, let's talk about some of the colors that are associated with this full moon in case you wanted to either wear some of these colors or use them to decorate your sacred space. So colors associated with this moon, of course, are going to be black, white, and silver. Those are kind of colors I just associate with the moon overall, as well as really dark greens, so kind of like that evergreen, forest green, as well as dark reds and dark purples and dark blues, so kind of like the colors that you're seeing in nature. Those are kind of the colors that I associate with this full moon. Next, for all of my wonderful green witches out there, consider using herbs like pine, holly, ivy, cinnamon, mistletoe, mint, star anise, clove, pine cones, or other herbs that are associated with either wintertime or alternatively, herbs that are incredibly aromatic. And the reason behind that is because a lot of those more aromatic herbs are ruled by that element of air, which is the element that also rules Gemini, which is the sign that this full moon is in. I hope that makes sense, but that's kind of why I wanted to include those, just to give you guys just a wide range of herbs to use if you so choose. For my green witches out there who prefer crystals to plants, maybe considering things such as obsidian, garnet, malachite, things that are, again, reflective of the same colors that I mentioned previously, but also are associated with grounding, protection, releasing things, transformation, shadow work. Whatever you feel the most connected with within those kind of themes, I encourage you to utilize. I feel like sometimes crystals are a little bit hard for me to recommend because different people like different things, but that's just some recommendations. Other symbols that kind of pertain to this moon include, of course, snow and ice, as well as wind, again, the air element, as well as fire. That element of fire is very important around this time of year as well, so indulge in that if you so choose. But on a deeper level, let's talk about some ways that you can practice, or things that you can incorporate into your practice if you want to honor the moon on December 7th or whatever day the moon is full for you. Now, the first thing that I recommend, of course, is introspection. Maybe taking some time to journal and just really kind of appreciating and recognizing all of the things that you have achieved this year and the things that you maybe wanted to achieve but aren't quite there yet. What can you do to fix those things moving forward, and what needs to be tweaked to ensure a more successful year in 2023. Now, of course, that is just an example, but feel free to use it as a kind of jumping off point, maybe for your own introspective practices. But I really love journaling, and I really encourage you to do this during this full moon. Next, being a witch whose magic is really focused around the house, I feel like I say this every moon, but like, seriously, get your house in order. Get it ready for the holidays. Make sure it's nice and cozy. I personally bought one of those like pine and balsam candles. I got it at Aldi for like $5, but it smells so good. And pine is a cleansing herb, and it was associated with this full moon. So I was like, you know what? I deserve this. I need this. And it's not even the full moon yet, and I'm already feeling like just such a nice shift. Like, I feel like we're firmly in winter time now, and that's kind of exciting to recognize that season that our beautiful planet has, right? Next, of course, I do recommend cleansing your home. This is kind of a standard thing that I recommend doing on full moons, but feel free to cleanse your home whenever you so choose. That being said, I think it is important to cleanse yourself and cleanse your space of like anything lingering from the past year before you enter into the year ahead. So I really recommend cleansing your home during this full moon. This is also a really good time again to start making your home cozy and maybe even getting it ready for the holidays if that is something that you are interested in, or something that just makes you feel happy. So it's a great time to release yourself of things physically as well as emotionally. So instead of maybe cleaning, or if you feel pretty good with where you're at with that, maybe just doing some emotional cleansing, or again, through some introspection. So I really feel like this is a very personal full moon, and there's going to be a lot of internal work that one can do. Whereas with a lot of other moons, I feel like there's a lot more ritual work that can be done that is more outward and expressive that way. But if you are looking to do something along those lines that does like help you connect with other people, I do really recommend maybe donating some time, food to a local food pantry, just to mark or honor that day. And this can be just something that you decide to do. You don't, it doesn't have to be like a whole spell work type thing. I think it's always an admirable thing to, give back to your community in the ways that you can. And I know especially around the holidays, there are a lot of opportunities to volunteer or otherwise serve your community in a beautiful and positive way. So I encourage you to at least look into it if that's something you have been interested in. So this is my little spiel all about the full cold moon in Gemini. We will be holding Circle over on Patreon on December 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you guys then. I am super excited. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them down below.